Good morning. This morning, when I was sitting with Jesus and talking to him about talking to us, because when I talk to us, I include me, because it's my heart that needs to hear the words coming out of my mouth. Did you know that the only way that your heart and your mind will really believe a thing is if you say it? And there's an interesting tweak about that. So when I read the Bible or when I read, a book that's really talking to my heart, I try to read it out loud. And even when I read my Bible, so often I actually play audio of what I'm reading. And I read it with my eyes and I read it with my mouth. And so I'm hearing someone else read it. I'm speaking it. My ears are hearing me speak it. But the way that we believe a thing the best is when we hear ourselves say it. That's why I say that I'm not just talking to you and you. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to me. And if you have a thing that you need to believe, say it to yourself. Don't just listen to someone else say it. Don't just read about someone else doing it, but speak it to yourself. You know, when you hear, when God has given you a promise, sometimes, discouragement can set in, or is this ever going to happen, can set in. And you start to doubt, or, you don't believe. Our minds are wired in a way that, we trust ourselves. And if we start to hear ourselves speak something, we'll receive it and remember it. But that's a double-edged sword, because we are not careful. I am not nearly careful enough with my words. And so often, the words that I speak, that I'm speaking into my own reality, are negative. They're not filled up with joy. They're not filled up with life. They're negative. Oh, this bad thing's going to happen, or that bad thing's going to happen, or complaining about something that already did happen. Just like my mind and my heart receive my voice for the promises of God and for the good things, my mind and my heart will also receive my own voice for the negative things. And I begin to believe them. I begin to live out of those things, out of those places. So this morning, as we go into this week, think before you speak. Your words have the power of life and death. And so it's very important for me to be careful what I speak, because I believe me. Even when I don't know it, I believe me, and you believe you. And so tell you, I'm going to tell me the good things, the positive things, the things that build courage in my heart, not the things that tear it down. I'm going to speak positive things about other people because my heart believes me. And when I start speaking negative things about other people, my heart starts believing negative things about other people. And so this Monday morning, as you're going out into your week, think about the ways that, and I'm going to think about the ways that I can adjust the words that are coming out of my mouth. So this morning I read about Joshua, And, Joshua followed Moses. Moses was the guy in charge. I don't even think that Joshua thought for a second that it would be him, so if something happens to Moses, it's going to be Aaron, I mean, they were together for the whole time. But no, Joshua was chosen. Moses led them in right up into the point of entrance, and Joshua was chosen to go in and conquer the land. And God said to him, in the beginning of the book of Joshua in the Bible, God said to him, be strong and very courageous. And so, apparently Joshua needed to have courage to do what he was going to do. It wasn't necessarily going to be easy. One of the first things that Joshua did when he was going in to conquer the land was to come up against the formidable walls of Jericho. And I remember when my kids were little, the Veggie Tales story of Josh and the big wall. I think that was it, or was that Jonah and the big fish? And I'm not sure, but Joshua and the people of Israel took down these city walls because God came to Joshua and told him what to do. Every day for 6 days, march around the walls of the city once. And then on the 7th day, march around the walls of the city 7 times. The priests are going to blow their horns, and as soon as they do, I want the people to give a shout of joy. So for 6 days, Joshua and the people of Israel walk one time around this wall, and the people of Jericho, the soldiers of Jericho had to be mocking them. I remember in the VeggieTales story, it was these little peas that were standing up on the wall. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And for 6 days, they went around that wall one time. And there's no magic formula here. There's just, do you believe what God tells you? And on the 7th day, they walked around the wall 7 times, and they didn't know the end of the story. They only know what God told them to do, and Joshua told them to do, and that God said, be strong and courageous. 7 times on the 7th day, they walked around the wall, and the instruction was when the priests blow their trumpets, blow their shofars, blow their horns, you shout a shout of joy. Guys, all of that happened before the walls came down. And it wasn't a shout of, rah, tear the wall down. It was a shout of joy, the wall's coming down. So this day, as we go into this week, what is it that God asked you to do and you feel like you have been doing it forever? And are you still sure that that wall's going to come down? And today, I feel like the Holy Spirit has gone to great lengths to get me to a place where I can tell you and where I can tell me. It's with a shout of joy before the thing even happens that your walls are going to come tumbling down. So as you're standing at the edge of, this is never going to be a thing, and you choose to believe what God said anyways, and you believe it so hard that you shout for joy even though it hasn't happened yet, the walls of Jericho in your life are going to come tumbling down, and victory is going to be at your feet. And all you did was rejoice in the Lord, because he told you a thing is going to happen, and you can trust him that he is not a man that he should lie. And so today, as we're going into this week and throughout this week, stand at the gates of the walls of whatever it is that you're coming into, these walls that seem formidable, and rejoice, because God already did it. It is finished. And watch those walls come tumbling down and crash at your feet, and walk in victory. Before the thing even happens, shout for joy. Shout for joy, because those walls are coming down. It's going to be a great day.